Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Well, we're gonna talk about that, that's interesting.
John Ronan.
Yeah, Andrew, are we gonna be able to see Joey's eyes on some of these shots? Because he's in shadow.
It'll be fun. You don't wanna see my ugly
We
eyes.
want to get
Like
the
crow's feet.
full, star quality.
Oh, man, I've been working out there, I'm
face.
exhausted, I don't want people seeing how tired I am right now.
Oh, I'm in the same shape. That's the third show we did today.
I know, I feel like, I hope you bring your A game now, I hope you're not too tired.
Never too tired. I just had a couple shots and a cigar.
Nice.
How long have you been working in East Gloucester?
Well, since I was 9 years old, my cousin Frank and I worked for our fathers, Libby and Charlie, and our grandfather started Captain Joe and Sons, the dock in East Gloucester, out back. My grandfather bought the property in 1953. My cousin Frank and I bought it from our father.
You want to throw your headset on?
Did your grandfather start the name Captain?
Captain Joe and
It
Sons.
says that was your grandfather.
Yeah, I'm not a captain, he was a captain. I'm not a captain.
That was on your dad's side, he was,
Captain Joe
Ciaramitaro?
Ciaramitaro, yeah. My mother's father's name was Joe Ciaramitaro also, it's kind of crazy.
oh really?
Yeah, he was Joe Popcorn, I don't know if you know, they were both kind of
Yeah.
legends, yeah.
My mother's parents were both Moriarty.
Oh, see, there you go.
They're probably cousins or something way back.
They had a
It
chase
should have
back.
been illegal.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've been working since you were 9 years old, so that's 1976, you've been working
I think I
for
compensated
the family
my
business.
headroom
Yeah, summers since I was 9, and then full-time after I graduated from college, and every summer in between, and after school.
And now
In high
full-time
school.
until late at night sometimes.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to spend some time asking how in the hell you find time to do Good Morning Gloucester, which is a big elaborate site now. I remember when it started,
Yeah.
it was like 5-10 pages or something like that. It was
Well,
long.
it's always, it's,
And now it's huge.
hey, it's huge, 18, we just passed that 18,000 post
Really?
yesterday. Yeah, 18,000 posts, imagine that. That's amazing. I have a lot of help though, you have to understand. I have a stable of contributors.
Yeah.
Hey, ready when you guys are.
Okay, I am ready. So I'm gonna ask about the family business and,
I have a couple things I wanted to talk
oh,
about.
absolutely. Do you wanna talk about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a new site we just.
Yep.
Okay, remember, this won't be out till February.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I had a,
Quiet on the set.
shit. I brought a napkin in because I'm.
Back to record.
I get sick, tall all day. I'm too old, get too old.
Rolling intro.
Okay.
It's alright, the intro's a whole 1 minute long.
I appreciate you coming down after work.
I love it, you know.
1 minute.
it's-
So this is kind of, oh, I gotta shut up, we're gonna show here.
Seconds. 30 seconds.
Let me finish my quarter after.
20 seconds. 10 seconds. Brandy Q.
Good evening and welcome to the Writer's Block. I'm your host, and as you know by now, I interview artists about their craft, what they're working on, what they've done in the past, what they might have planned for the future. We cast a pretty wide net. We've had on artists of all brands. We've had on musicians, we've had on writers, we've had on sculptors, all kinds of folks. It's a wide net. So, if you have an idea for a guest who might be good for the Writer's Block, watch for our address at the end of the show. There's also another address I want you to look for. It's a URL. That's a website address, theyatesgame.org. It's about a play that's going to be in New York that opened originally premiered in Gloucester, and I'd like you to know about that. Maybe get down here to New York and see it. Tonight, I'm very happy to say we have a really important local celebrity artist whose web exploits and website work is nothing short of really an artwork that's grown over the years and become very, very impressive for its scope and its beauty. And it's called Good Morning Gloucester. And I know you've heard of it, even if you haven't been to it. And the gentleman who's visiting us invented Good Morning Gloucester, Joey Ciaramitaro. And I want to give you a couple background facts, because although I know you recognize that name, you might not know that he was born and raised in Gloucester, went down south, down the line to Bishop Fenwick High School, and then later to Bentley, where he studied economics and finance. He wasn't always in the classroom though, because when he was 9 years old, and for summers after, and now full-time, he was working at the family company, Captain Joe and Son in East Gloucester, a company founded by his grandfather in 1953. So we've got a lot of things to talk to Joey Ciaramitaro about. Thanks for being down, coming in after work to be on the writer's block, Joey. I appreciate it.
It's great to be here. I have to say, I like to do the corrections a little bit. You got everything just about perfect.
Okay.
But I have to always give credit. I have a partner, my cousin Frankie, down the dock. And so I'm not the sole owner of Captain Joe and Son.
Okay.
And the other part is my cast of characters that produce Good Morning Gloucester. It's not just my blog. I have a bunch of contributors that help me, and the community really submits a lot of the content. So it's a community blog. It's not just my blog.
I realize you do need help on that, but I don't want you to get too humble on us. You started it, and it's really a wonderful project. You had me on, interviewed me about 3 or 4 years ago, and I always had in my mind, I'm gonna turn the tables on Joy, I'm gonna get him on my show to talk about what he's doing over there.
I remember when we did your interview. At the time, it was the longest interview I had done to date. I think we broke it up into sections because
I remember, yeah,
because YouTube at that time didn't take that long of a clip. So but because we had so much to talk about.
I'm always interested in the background of things. Now this is really, I think, a work of art. But you work down in East Gloucester. Tell us what you do for the business, and then where you got the idea, and when you got the idea to do Good Morning Gloucester.
Well, it was we're down the dock, and Gloucester is a fishing community. We pride ourselves on being a fishing community, and because I'm down the dock, there was this message board, Cape Ann Online, and I'd post pictures from the being down there, and people onto this message board. And this message board, a lot of people seem to respond to this, this type of industrial waterfront stuff, because when 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 80% of the people that lived in this town were directly related to the fishing industry. Yeah. And now that's probably inverse, if not less than 20%. So people love that we're from a fishing industry, but we get to bring it to them. So that was kind of how it got started, and I think a big part of the popularity of it is because Gloucester itself is so diverse and so wild. We have this cultural riches of things to do that you couldn't do this blog in these bedroom communities.
No.
We're just blessed to be here, and I'm just happy to be the guy that's in the spot to be able to bring it to people.
Where do you get the energy to do it? If you worked all day and you've got to do something on the website, even if there's helpers, it still takes some energy.
It takes a lot of time, but you have to understand, I get up at 3:45, 7 days a week. I work 7 days a week, but we get to the dock around 4:45, and I usually don't get out of there till 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. So the boats come in, and we're very active for chunks of time, but there's a little bit of time in between, and all that time in between is where I get on the computer.
Describe what you do for work when you start boats coming in.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, in the morning, we go down there, and the lobster boats come to us, and we source their bait for them, so that they don't have to chase bait all over town, and they know that they can go lobstering. We lower the bait down on the boat, send them off, do our paperwork from the day before, Frank and I, and then, by 8:30 in the morning, things tend to slow down a little bit, and I'll start to work on the blog a little bit, and Frank might watch CNBC or something, and then the boats start coming back in around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and in between there we'll be filling lobster orders for restaurants or our wholesale accounts, and then once the boats start coming in, it's just grading lobsters and putting them up to get rid of them at the end of the night. It's Groundhog Day every day. It's the same. The blog is such a blessing because of that repetition. I get to do all this. I live vicariously through all this other stuff that happens on the blog.
So you're busy all day, whether on the blog or.
Yeah,
or
I have to be moving. I think my mom was like this, and I think we have a motor that just if we're sitting still, we get anxious. Anxiety. We gotta be creating, gotta be pushing the boundaries of the blog, and I feel like if we're not progressing on it, we're dying a little bit. You know what I mean? I think artists. I think when I always talk to artists, like painters or writers or something, and I think when they're not creating, they go into depression a little bit, and I feel the same kind of way. If I'm not pushing the boundaries of the blog of what we're doing, or making something better, or creating something else, I feel like I get really
in connection with that high energy, I want to mention that you have set up a camera before we started. You're taping our tape.
We're behind the scenes.
This is going to be on Good Morning Gloucester later after we broadcast.
That's right. That's right.
So
we're way over there. But yeah.
So we're taping up the tape of the tape is going to be on the website.
I hope we didn't get any swear words in the preamble before we start.
I don't think so. I don't remember swear.
No, I'm just joking. Oh, yeah.
You mentioned some pieces of paper you brought over, some things you wanted to make sure you talked about before I got going, or before we lost track. What did you have in mind?
I wanted to talk about a couple of well, first of all, I want to congratulate the team effort. Our blog won CBS Boston's Most Valuable Blog, People's Choice Award, which is, it's all of Massachusetts to be recognized as the best blog. When they called me to tell me, it was one of these moments where I know Good Morning Gloucester is really special and everything, but to get that kind of, we're up against a lot of blogs. I mean, there's going to be 1 million bloggers in Gloucester, right? So to get that kind of validation, I was very emotional when I got that phone call, because it was like a validation of all this hard work, and it's not for money. We don't do it for money. It's all for labor of love. So that was really cool. So I want to thank all my contributors and all the people that send in stuff, and all the Good Morning Gloucester communities, the friends of the blog, and everything else.
I know in a lot of these efforts, people say, and sometimes I volunteer, they say, how much do you make on it? I say, no, you don't make money, you spend money. It's how much you're going to drop doing it.
It's fun. Yeah, and then another initiative that I'm really proud of, that we just launched, GloucesterWebcam.com. And what it is, it's an idea that Gloucester's obviously the most beautiful place in the world, and we have all these vistas all around Cape Ann, right? Between the working waterfront and the beaches and the back shore, the rocky coastline, and the downtown. We already have 30 webcams signed up of all these vistas, from the hotels and the restaurants, out shooting outside.
It's live
streaming things. But the idea was to get a picture of what these vistas are for each business or community organization, and then on one page, 30 of them right now. By the time this airs, probably going to be a lot more. You click on that picture, and then you go to that company or